In a quiet town nestled against the edge of a dense forest, Emma Collins unlocked the door to her new home. It was an old house, a relic left behind by a distant relative she'd never met. At first, the silence was comforting. The creaks of the floorboards and the whispers of the wind were the only sounds. But soon, the quiet gave way to something else. Every night, just as darkness settled, she would hear them heavy, echoing footsteps in the hallway. Step, step, step. Emma would hold her breath, listening, but she was always alone. Each night, the footsteps grew bolder, louder, closer. They'd start at the far end of the hall and methodically make their way toward her bedroom door, stopping just outside. Her heart would pound against her ribs, a frantic drum against the chilling silence that followed. She scoured the house for any sign of an intruder, checked every lock, every window, but found nothing. No broken seals, no footprints on the dusty floors. It was as if a ghost was walking her halls. One afternoon, a neighbor, a kind-eyed woman with a worried frown, stopped Emma by the fence. "You're living in the old Miller place?" she said, her voice low. "Folks say it's been unsettled ever since Mr. Miller passed." She explained that the previous owner was a recluse, found dead under mysterious circumstances years ago. Since then, anyone who dared to stay in the house reported the same thing: phantom footsteps that wandered the halls at night. The story sent a shiver down Emma's spine, but it also ignited a spark of determination. She wasn't going to be scared out of her own home. She needed answers. Her search led her to the basement, a dark, musty space filled with forgotten things. In a far corner, hidden behind a stack of old furniture, was a small, locked door she hadn't noticed before. After struggling with the rusty lock, she managed to pry it open. The air inside was stale, thick with the scent of decay and time. The room was a time capsule, filled with the previous owner's belongings. Tucked away in a wooden chest, she found what she was looking for: a leather-bound diary. The pages were filled with frantic, spidery handwriting. The man, Mr. Miller, wrote of his escalating fear. He, too, had heard the footsteps. At first, he dismissed them as the house settling, but they became a nightly torment. He described the sound in chilling detail, the heavy, dragging gait of someone burdened. The entries grew more erratic, his paranoia spiraling. He was convinced he wasn't alone, that something was following him, haunting him. The final entry was dated the day before he was found dead. It read, "They're at my door. I know they're coming for me tonight." That night, the house was colder than ever before. A deep, penetrating chill seemed to emanate from the very walls. Emma sat on her bed, the diary clutched in her hands, her ears straining in the oppressive silence. And then they began, step, step. But this time they were different, slower, more deliberate. Each footfall was heavy, measured, as if counting down to something. They weren't just pacing the hall anymore. They were coming straight for her. Her breath hitched in her throat as the footsteps stopped right outside her bedroom. The doorknob began to turn, slowly, agonizingly. The door creaked open, revealing a tall, gaunt figure standing in the doorway. It was a man, pale and translucent, his form flickering like a weak flame. His clothes were tattered, his eyes hollow and filled with a profound sadness. He looked not at her, but through her, his expression a mask of desperation. He raised a trembling, see-through hand and pointed, not at Emma, but at the floor beside her bed. A wave of understanding washed over her, dispelling the fear. He wasn't trying to harm her. He was trying to tell her something, to warn her. Following his spectral gaze, Emma looked down. She noticed a section of the wooden floorboards that seemed slightly uneven. Kneeling down, she pried at the edge with her fingers. The wood lifted easily, revealing disturbed soil beneath. A strange, earthy smell rose from the opening. Grabbing a small fire poker from the hearth, she began to dig. It didn't take long. Her fingers brushed against something hard and smooth. Bone. With a growing sense of dread, She cleared away more dirt, uncovering the skeletal remains of a man. Tucked beside the skeleton was a small, rusted metal box. Inside, she found a letter and a set of financial documents that laid everything bare. Mr. Miller hadn't died of natural causes. He had been murdered by a business partner who then buried his body beneath the floorboards, staging the scene to look like an accident. The truth had been lying beneath her feet this whole time. After she called the authorities, the house was swarmed with police. The remains were removed, the evidence collected, and the story of Mr. Miller's murder finally came to light. His killer, now an old man living in a nearby state, was brought to justice. That night, for the first time since she'd moved in, the house was truly silent. The air felt lighter, the oppressive chill was gone. The restless spirit of Mr. Miller, his story finally told, was at peace. Emma felt a sense of relief, believing the haunting was over. She slept soundly, the quiet a welcome blanket. But just before dawn, in that hazy space between sleep and waking, she heard it, a faint, distant sound. It wasn't the heavy, dragging footsteps of Mr. Miller. This was different. It was lighter, quicker, almost like the soft patter of small, bare feet. A child's footsteps echoing from the far end of the hallway. They paused, then started again, slowly, curiously, making their way toward her room. The haunting wasn't over. It had just begun. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more chilling tales.